The causes of car accidents on Long Island and everywhere is pretty much endless. In my opinion, probably the number one cause of an accident is speed, traveling at unsafe speeds. Um, People just don't watch the speed that they're going. They don't regulate their speed based upon factors: wet roads, snow, ice, traffic, congestion, construction. They just want to go. And that's a big problem, especially in New York, especially in Long Island, where there's just so many cars and there's so much construction all over the place. Another cause is people just don't look where they're going. People change lanes without looking. They're distracted. They're talking on their phones. Now, whether you're talking on the actual phone, which is not legal, or you're talking on a speaker system, which is, you're still distracted. People talking on a speaker, their brain gets lost in the conversation, and they lose the sense of what's happening, even if it's legal. And that's why it's very important to get people's cell records. Because even if you don't see them on the phone, if they were on the phone, me as your lawyer want to know about that, because I want that record of that call to show who they were speaking to, for how long, at what times, so I could show it to a jury that they were distracted. And if your injuries are significant enough, we will bring experts in, psychiatrists, who are experts in cell phones, and will tell the jury how a driver is distracted even when on a speakerphone. Of course, driving while intoxicated is a big problem all over the country. Driving while impaired, same thing. People are under the influence of alcohol, drugs, and if they are, their skill set isn't what is needed to drive a vehicle, but yet they drive. And that's also important to document. So if you're involved in an accident, somebody doesn't look right, somebody doesn't sound right, somebody doesn't smell right, and that police officer comes, you need to tell them immediately so they can document it and ask that person to take a test. And even if they don't, that'll be noted. And then they will have their license suspended, most likely. Driving while texting. People text all the time while driving. And that's why you want to get their cell records. See if they've been texting while they're driving at the time of the accident.
Okay.
People fall asleep at the wheel. And that happens more often than you would think. People reach down to get something they dropped. And as they reach down, they're turning the wheel. And that happened to my client on the Northway, north of Albany, when the tractor trailer did that. And the tractor trailer, in that case, was hauling compressed hydrogen. And compressed hydrogen is a liquid. And it looks like a milk truck. But when he reached down to get a bottle, he ran the vehicle over on the shoulder, and the wheels got caught, the tires got caught in the rut. And he's trying to get it back the other way. And he got it back the other way. But then what happened? The compressed hydrogen, the liquid, started sloshing around. You could just feel it. And when it started sloshing around, it destabilized the tractor, towing the trailer of the hydrogen. And it flipped the vehicle over. And it blocked all the lanes of the interstate in the middle of the night at the crest of a hill, all from reaching over. Sometimes accidents are caused by a vehicle not being properly maintained. Maybe it had bad brakes, maybe it didn't have any brakes. Maybe it had a taillight that wasn't maintained and it wasn't working. Maybe the mechanic that they brought the vehicle to didn't fix the vehicle correctly. Very important to know that, because now maybe the mechanic, maybe he's a defendant. So you need to investigate whether the defendant driver or owner of that car recently had it maintained and whether that was a problem, whether that contributed to the accident. Because it's very likely that the mechanic is going to have a commercial insurance policy that certainly will supplement the driver and maybe even be more than the driver's policy in all likelihood. Very important to get down to the bottom of that information. Maybe the traffic signals weren't working. Maybe the traffic signals were missing. Stop sign might have been stolen or knocked down on the floor. How many times have you seen the stop sign on the floor? Could be a defective condition in the road. Maybe there was a telephone pole too close to the road. Maybe the pole was in the shoulder and you didn't have the room. Maybe the light was in the shoulder. Maybe there was another defect in the roadway. There are countless defects in the roadway. You need to know that because maybe the municipality is responsible in part for the accident. And municipalities have short statutes of limitations, time periods, and they have another very short time period called a notice of claim, which needs to be filed generally within 30 to 90 days from the event. There's a few agencies in New York that have a 30-day notice of claim. Most have a 90, and the state of New York has another one altogether. So you need to know what all these notice of claim time periods are, notice of intention to make claims. So if there's a possibility that there's a municipality involved, the lawyer needs to know that, the lawyer needs to investigate, because those time periods are very, very, very short.